right, we are back. Episode 29. I am here with King Nana.
What up, what up?
Blockhead Blake.
That's right.
And Jazzy Pickle.
Let's go.
We have some breaking news that Blockhead's gonna let us in on. Yeah, he's gonna tell us this news and then he's gonna run out of here because apparently he has more important things to do than hang around for some silly
friends.
Yeah, for some silly podcast.
Our podcast started on time. Maybe.
Whoa.
Yeah. Listen, the block says 11:30 to 1 or something like
The
that.
block says.
Yeah.
Is that your new thing?
No, I mean
the block says.
That'd be really funny. That's actually really funny.
Kid.
But
that's your segment from now on.
That's really
the
funny.
block says.
That's funny. But so the news is that OBJ has a warrant issued for his arrest, and because the reason is battery, but it's because of the actions he took in the post-game celebrations. Supposedly.
With LSU on?
With LSU. So here's what happened.
Okay.
There's an iconic photo out right now. Joe Burrow smoking that cigar, right?
Right.
We've all seen it. He's like leg crossed, looking classy AF. So LSU had a bunch of cigars, and the cops that were guarding their locker room went in there and were saying that the cigars were causing too much of a disturbance.
Right, because you really can't smoke indoors.
And we're trying to stop the champion, possibly greatest football season of all time, college football season of all time, Tigers.
Wow,
It's
that was a bit much.
It's a narrative.
That's a bit much. The block says.
They're trying to stop him from celebrating. And there's a video I just saw on Twitter of OBJ smacking a cop's ass. It's a dude cop, but he smacks his ass and then kind of like does like the fake like you want to fight thing. So
bucked on him.
And it's all on video.
Okay.
So it seems to me like that might be what he's getting in trouble in. And if that's the case, I think it's a load of crap.
I mean, did the cop react?
Yeah, he kind of turned around and looked at him, and then OBJ was like, "What?" And the cop was like,
Just kept it moving.
Yeah, just kind of like had to walk around the locker room. So that's what I got.
And that is the reason why he has the arrest warrant?
Unconfirmed, but that's video,
what you got.
That's the video of him smacking a cop on the butt.
Yeah, the block says more investigations to come.
More investigations to come, but that's what the video evidence is so far.
I mean, they could do something better with their time.
I mean, smacking a cop is illegal. You can't do that.
Right, you shouldn't put your hands on cops.
On his ass?
But like,
period.
That's like way to go, buddy. Good
way
job,
to go, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to fight crime.
Yeah. I was simply giving him a congratulations.
Just some dabs or something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was lame when I saw the story that they were trying to bust the people for smoking cigars.
Maybe that cop had never
Well,
put on
again,
a sports team. Maybe he was in thetheater and they don't do that.
They probably weren't in theater.
Maybe he should have been like, hey, break a leg, and it was like, hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, it was a miscommunication.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all plays out. He's probably gonna just go ahead and turn himself in, pay restitution, and then be all done with it. But very interesting.
Assuming whoever he pays accepts his payment. Some
That's
people
true.
are
Yeah, that's
turning
right.
payments
I mean,
away
would it
right
be
now.
cash like he handed out on the field, or would it be check?
Yeah, it'd be cash,
App,
baby.
Venmo, PayPal?
Cash,
What's he gonna
baby.
use? Straight cash, homie.
Yeah.
I love it. But I guess speaking of that game, that was quite the showing that LSU put on. And you're right, it was a very dynamic season. It was a great season, and it was kind of a culmination of, if you look at Joe Burrow, who he spent, I believe, 3 years at Ohio State without playing.
Yep. And
then was able to go ahead and transfer, see greener pastures, and then it all culminated with the perfect season and Heisman Trophy and a shit ton of touchdowns.
Playing with Randy Moss's son.
Yeah.
Like,
So it was,
that can't hurt.
It was pretty cool. I talked about this at before with another colleague, just thinking about how the transfer rules, I think, should be relaxed a bit, just for occasions, somewhat like this, so that, a lot of times the kids will have to sit out a year if they want to transfer from place to place, and there's no, coaches don't have to do that, administrators don't have to do that, and sometimes there's a situation where teams go away And a lot of times people make the argument, well, the kids are getting scholarships, and so they shouldn't want for anything. But, you have to earn that scholarship yearly. It's not, you don't go in and get a 4-year scholarship. You get it actually, I think it's per semester you get it, so you have to get it.
So that's all between the school and the player and how well you bargain coming in. We've had people in our family, one that was year to year, multiple injuries, and then finally a coach was like, love you, I know you get a scholarship, but I can't risk you not walking later in life to play this. And then a younger sibling coming in and saying, you're going to hand us a 4-year scholarship to play for you. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. Also, multiple injuries, was unable to finish playing all 4 years, but was able to finish school through the scholarship.
Keep the scholarship. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's good stuff.
So it comes down to the student?
It's a bargaining because
it's a
the school
combination.
has to accept it.
So basically, how bad do they want it?
Gotta have someone in the corner helping you out too.
Because then, so now they've started to do the whole thing where every year or every couple weeks you'll see video of a kid getting surprised with a scholarship. Oh, you have a scholarship, and then it's the biggest thing. Oh yeah, man,
Tons of those.
We'll show you. We'll show you later. I see you keep looking at your time. Do you really? It's a gots to go situation.
It's time to go.
We'll tell everybody good night, Blockhead. Thank you for the breaking news.
Enjoy the show without me. See how it goes.
We will enjoy the show without you. Trust me, we will. Woo. So glad this guy's gone.
They're putting a lot on students, don't they?
Yes.
There's a lot.
Yes.
For someone trying to go to school and sports, and you're trying to figure out, okay, if I get injured, do I want to finish school or still try and see if I recover and play sports?
It's a lot. It's a lot
For someone to come from out of high
your
school.
future. A lot. And that's the hard part. They're, like you said, a scholarship, one for not just go out and do what they tell you. But you're putting in a lot of hours, a lot of effort, and a lot of people are reaping a lot of awards on you just getting a free education, right? They're not necessarily maybe making all that money off of those kids that got merit scholarships, right?
But who actually?
So this is a little extra thing that they're taking off the top of somebody that they can sell to the public.
Who actually wins at the end of the day, if you think about it?
Who wins at the end of the day?
Is it the school? Is it the student?
I think it depends on the situation.
You're both getting benefits. The problem is are there benefits available to you that somebody's not maximizing because they can help themselves a little bit more? Maybe they're still doing well if they give you what you deserve. Such as California saying, hey, it is your last name, it's your rights, go sell it. Is that so harmful to the school? They're still selling tickets to the stadium, right?
So this is a new thing that Blake's talking about. Just really quick, we had Nate, your boy, has come in. He's replacing Blockhead Blake. That's actually pretty funny because Blake just left out and then you came in.
All right.
We're as usual. We don't have anything planned, but we've just been talking about LSU winning the national championship and kids transferring, and then ultimately into scholarships and how that works, and now into who benefits the most. Is it the school? Is it the athlete? What have you? So it's.
Don't you feel sometimes he takes away? Sorry for cutting.
No, go ahead.
Don't you think sometimes he takes away from a kid who actually wants to go to school?
What
wants
takes
to
away?
Study? Like take like a spot. I know they have spots for like students going to sports. And they have spots.
Yes, because they got to keep that GPA up for the team.
Right. But then, if you can give us students who is going in for sports full scholarship, who probably not use that scholarship, and maybe after a year or two, probably join the NFL or something.
You have to be 3 years out of high school.
Yeah, and that's a very minor group of people
Yes.
that make it professional versus kids that play sports for scholarships.
The average college team has at least 100 student athletes on the team. At least. Sometimes there's more.
Maybe they could give that scholarship to somebody from like low income family.
They have different scholarships for those. So it's a difference between a sports or athletic scholarship versus academic scholarship versus need-based scholarships.
And that's all based off school setup too.
Yeah.
Some divisions aren't allowed to give out athletic scholarships.
Right.
Some schools, the sports team support the other scholarships for other students. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that it feeds back and forth to each other.
Could you go to a college and join a sports team?
It's called a walk-on. Yes. Why you think about doing anything about going back and playing soccer for someone? GW.
My legs are
I'm
going.
warming up that foot right now.
What was the deal with OBJ passing out money?
Was passing out money?
Yeah, so he did that. He did that after the game, which.
But was he in? He wasn't in any kind of violation.
Oh yeah, that for sure that is some sort of violation. I think they're investigating that now.
Okay.
Was he in LSU?
He went to LSU, yes.
Oh.
So I'm sure that'll be coming out. My guess is he wasn't quite thinking right.
Is he ever thinking?
Oh, wow, that's some shade you just threw there.
I mean, come
King?
on, man.
That's what happened. He's one of.
I know you're rich. You don't have to go out and
He's
just.
that ego-driven guy, like the Antonio Brown. That guys like that
What's
who
wrong with
just
some people? Like,
think
come
that
on,
shit
man.
don't stink. I mean,
Yeah.
they think they can do whatever.
Like throwing money out there, like people actually need money. You just on the field, just it's crazy.
You do what you want to do. You know, it's kind of like we talked about this before. You know, whether he has money or doesn't have money, he's always going to have that same attitude. He is who he is.
Like I said, he goes out and throws all that money around, right? Who's the only person not allowed to pick up the money in the stadium?
The student
students.
athlete.
As soon as the student athlete picks it up, then he's in violation of NCAA.
Oh, really?
So,
Yes.
Yeah, that's where rules get real funny. Somebody just paid you.
Yes.
They're not allowed
Yo,
to
that's
accept money for anything.
That's
so crazy.
crazy.
It is.
That is
nuts.
crazy.
So
So if I threw $1 on the ground and you picked it up, it's in violation.
No, it's a certain limit.
No, somebody would write a
It's
certain
amount.
amount,
and
they're
the
gonna
reason
have
why.
to-
So if you
for
did
what?
it to if you were at again he's an alumni of LSU, played football there. So him giving LSU players, student athletes money is a direct.
It's a driven to get kids to be there at
Yeah.
that school.
So if your son is ready to now going through picking colleges, well, what college does he want to go to? Well, shit, I just saw that
money.
over at LSU they just hand out 50s on the field.
So they do the old blimp drop once a year.
Get kind of going back to what Jazzy Pickle was talking about the new laws that's going down in California, where they're now going to allow some of the student athletes to be able to benefit from the use of their likeness, because that's what it's
Are
all
they
about.
still going to be part of NCAA? With the
Well, see, here
Forward.
is the caveat to that. So that's California, but NCAA still has their own rules. So now it's going to come down to well, I play sports here in California, and the law says that I can, but then the NCAA is the governing body of athletics. So where is the conflict going to come in? There's going to be some conflict.
If they don't run into this rule and accept it across the board, it'll just be like
Is the NCAA
back in the day.
like a private organization?
Yes.
So it's their game, their rules.
Essentially, yes.
So
That the member institutions abide by.
Okay. So
And they could tell you, say, all right, you all have accepted that in this state you can get paid. So people are going to go there, right? But none of your schools can play in the championship. You can play all season long, but you'll never have a championship.
Right.
And
So
then,
that's
so
where
they'll
things
drive
get.
kids away like, well, I really want to have that championship. And you have other kids that want to get paid. They hold a pretty big hand when it comes to all that.
Yes.
they
Hammer of God is what they have. And we're
the
joined
host
by Handsome. Sorry about that. We're joined by Handsome Shrek now. So just everybody's a little bit late, but we lost one in game 2. So how about that?
How
We
about
are up
that?
now. We're up now. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, King. What were you saying?
I feel like the whole situation is screwed up.
Yeah.
I will jump in not knowing what we're talking about and say I disagree completely.
I mean,
I think
why? They put a
I think
lot on the students.
I think the students and just athletes in general give these organizations too much power. I think if
We're talking about NCAA or
I'm talking about all sports, schools, all that, where it's a governing body who controls them pretty much.
But then again, you have to understand is their thing. So do you want to be part of it? These are my rules.
But that's what I'm saying, where you have a number of
Unless California wants to start up your own stuff.
Without these athletes, nothing happens. That goes away. So I always, again, majority always rules in my book. Majority rules.
But then again,
if you got a lion and a hyena and you got 4 hyenas against a lion, the hyenas win.
But then again, you're coming.
I've seen it somewhere, you know.
No,
You watch that Discovery?
No, I watch it. I watch it.
But then
all
again,
the time.
I'm organizing my games. You want to be part of these games? These are the rules.
Right, and that's pretty much how NCAA is.
Fair, but these are my rules.
But it'll come to a head because it's the same thing.
But again,
in the major organizations, and Nate's got the right point. You boycott something, and now the guys up here's paycheck stops coming in.
Exactly.
He'll figure out a way to get that thing running again. He'll bargain with
that's
you.
going to take a while.
That's been talked about for
organization.
years and years and
Here's
years.
the thing: for any kind of boycott to actually be effective, it has to be a unified boycott.
So,
And that's never going to happen.
How was the WNBA able to change their policies to make it better for them? What occurred for them to do that?
Because they have a union contract and they went in and bargained with the union.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, they have a union
Yes.
contract?
And also, it was basically coming down to, listen, we need, if you want the WNBA to work and to actually happen, then you need to come up off of these concessions,
right.
or we'll just go back and play overseas, what we do anyway.
Right.
So a lot of these players play all year long,
Yeah.
and they just take the break from one league
Right.
to play that summer.
Because you got a whole lot of
WNBA
NBA players to
This is
go
never going to work
overseas
in
and
the
play.
NFL.
Yeah.
This is never going to work in the NFL. The NFL just make their own rules. They're like, fuck everybody. The owners and the NFL is like, one body just
I think we're kind of getting off on a tangent here. You can't really compare the NFL to pretty much any of the other sports, and especially NCAA. So the whole thing with kind of like we were all saying, you know, is it an opportunity for the NCAA to go away or to change its
To do better.
Yeah, to do better. Hashtag do better, right?
What is better? Somebody's going to ask you, what is better?
Whatever is better or is best for what's in the best of the players' interest, I think is better.
They will tell you.
Again, the players
are getting full scholarship or half scholarship or whatever. Isn't that good enough?
Is it?
I mean, if you get a full scholarship.
For some folks, it may not be.
How is it not going to be a good thing to have a full
Because
scholarship?
some folks could be like you say, could be like a walk-on who's just good and great. It was like, I didn't get a scholarship. So they're like, okay, to appease me, you're going to have to do this then.
You can't
That's
compare yourself to
scrap
somebody who
the
doesn't have a
scholarship.
Or the fact that somebody get injured and change their whole outlook playing for you to make a lot of money. How do you get compensated after that? The only thing they're going to do is pay to fix your injury.
So I guess to hone it in, if we're talking about what is better, so we're talking again about what Mr. Pickle was saying about the thing that's going on in California, where the student athletes will be able to benefit off of that likeness. So there's numerous instances where some of the kids talk about how they can go to the bookstore and see their jersey in the bookstore with their name on it, and they can't afford to buy it. Now, is that right? So anybody can go in and buy that jersey with their name on it and wear it to the games.
And I don't get anything.
And I don't get anything from it. But I guess, as you say,
recognition,
scholarship. But it's their likeness. It's
the whole scholarship
them.
thing is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Because schooling here is really expensive.
Yeah.
So to get a full scholarship, to them is like, listen, you're not going to get this anywhere. And it's
Well,
true.
so then, should there be a regulation then? Only players with full scholarships can have named jerseys.
So I mean scholarships in general. To get a scholarship is a big deal to school in America.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
It's a massive deal. So they're gonna say, "Listen, we gave you a full scholarship. What else do you want?"
But not everyone has
But
a
is
full
it-
scholarship, is what we're saying, and they also not allowed to.
Okay, for people who have like the walk-in thing you were talking
But
about,
there's
it could be
you're
different.
only allowed to give so many on a team.
Yeah,
And,
so
it's limited,
normally
limited by divisions, too.
50 or so.
Division 2 and Division 3
Why
aren't
do they
allowed
do
to
that?
give athletic
Why?
scholarships.
They don't have the money.
They don't have the money, and it's part of the regulated competition. You can't give out dedicate scholarship money in a Division 3 school and guarantee a national championship every year.
Right. Then there's also the school, or I'm sorry, the programs that don't make any money. So you'll have the softball team and things like that, or that are
Relying on
relying on the bigger
the football or the soccer or the basketball teams to
Yeah.
bring in money for their entire program.
So wait, the money that comes in goes to like sports.
It goes to the athletic department.
Yes.
Okay. It's not basically just a football.
Example: if a school that rides or dies on their football teams and their income that they make on their football team is doing worse and worse and worse, they might cut water polo. You're out. Everyone who had a scholarship,
Yep.
your scholarships are good, but you don't get to play here anymore. Well, I don't need the rest of your scholarships until your time's done,
At least that's
but
it.
that's it.
That was depressing. Down, I think it was the last year at Maryland. I think they cut
Yeah.
9
Like
or 10
9
Yeah.
sports, yeah.
What?
Just got rid of them. Yep.
And the women's water polo team went out and fundraised to play their last season of that group
Oh,
that was
come
there
on.
just to be able
That's
to afford to
crazy.
play.
Yeah.
So
So-
that is crazy.
And it happens, and then the other thing is the profit sharing. So what we saw on Monday night was LSU versus Clemson, but both those teams, since they made it to the championship game and through that entire process, playoffs and everything, they got whatever millions and millions of dollars, which they split throughout the conference. So even the sorriest team in what is that, the SEC, which I'm not sure which team it was, still gets a cut of that just for being in the conference, which just kind of goes back to our participation trophies things that we talked about before. You know what I mean? So it's that as well. So it's a lot of money out there that can be spread around.
I feel like it's
It's
so
not
com-
even just money on the NCAA. There's so many things that they could just do better. They could be consistent. Rulings, things like that. Just like, so they have a lot of rules on student athletes, on coaches, on schools, how they're allowed to act and recruit. And
I was about to say recruiting is the biggest one.
Yes.
it's
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Okay.
And they're just very inconsistent of how they punish people, whether they punish somebody.
I mean, money sometimes just shows up on the doorstep of the people making the decisions.
money just shows up.
Yeah, man.
You open your account and like, whew, where did that come from?
Wait, I completely forgot. What was I just doing? I don't know. Let me count this money instead. And then sometimes things just disappear.
I mean, they're an oversight body, and whether their name was mentioned in all this college, I'm going to get my kid in with fake scholarships and pay money to say they played tennis at a top level. The NCAA never said anything about it, right?
Right.
How much oversight are they overseeing on their program? They're
Right.
the ones that should have called it.
You have to send all the information to the clearinghouse.
Right.
So did the clearinghouse not do their investigative follow-ups? How can a person
Is it just
say
an address in a city?
how can a person get a full scholarship for a sport they never played? That's supposed to be the NCAA's thing.
Is it on NCAA or the school?
It's both.
Both.
Because so the school
'Cause
gets
NCAA
the
is gonna
initial
put on the school.
the school
It's
gets
a-
the
it's-
initial
the
entrance.
athletic director should have picked up on all this.
Yeah. And
The
that,
coach can
that's
pull
why
a lot of
everybody's been
people. Right.
getting fired.
Right.
So the first entrance is into the school. So you get into the school, then they take all of your information, which includes transcripts and everything, and sends it off to the NCAA clearinghouse, and then that organization is supposed to make sure that you're cleared and ready to go and can play.
And you are eligible.
So what? It's supposed to be like a background check. On
It's an eligibility check.
Yes.
But
You
I'm
can't
in the
you can't
office,
have.
And he decided to send me a text saying, "Look, my daughter, I got you. I got you."
I mean, I hear there's this older guy. I think his name's Raymond Lewis. Is going back to school, and he's going to be a great linebacker, red shirt freshman coming into Maryland.
Yeah.
You got to check with stuff like that, eligibility.
It's a lot. It's a
Once
lot
you see the
too.
dollars, man, you can.
It's all about the dollars
It's
here.
all about the
Mhm.
paper,
All about the
man.
dollars.
Once you see that envelope, fat envelope, like, oh, where did that
Look
come
the
from?
other way.
Look the other
Yeah,
way.
you got to do what you got to do.
People got bills to pay. Jesus. That's it.
Yeah,
I think it's just corrupt
and
from the
again,
top.
all the people who can't pay the bills is the
It's,
student
it's
athletes.
corrupt from the top to the bottom.
And they penalize the person at the bottom every time. who-
Every
It's the
damn
person on the-
time.
it's the person on the bottom. 'Cause
Every damn
Because if you
time.
keep penalizing them, it looks like you're doing your job.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just sad,
But
man.
it used to be worse back in the day. Or during the Allen Iverson years and all these because I remember when they were buying him cars and
Right, they
and,
used to buy.
and
Look
just
at
to try to
LeBron.
entice them to
Yeah,
the
Look at
company.
LeBron.
Well, that for
LeBron,
sure still
LeBron's
goes on.
mom bought
You
him.
think?
Oh yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
just
like
happened in
their
Kentucky like
second
2 years
uncle
ago.
gets a free car.
LeBron's
Okay.
mom bought him like a Hummer, right? And they were coming from poverty.
Oh, when he was in school, high school.
When he was in high school.
LeBron, I remember that.
Where did mom get the money from?
Full scholarship.
Yeah.
Paid for it.
Even though he doesn't go, but
He
yeah.
doesn't actually see the money. Just a scholarship.
That's, I think it's man. Then again,
No, but
once
see,
the
that-
students
that
start
was a
making
little
money
bit-
off their image, right? Other students in the school are gonna start acting okay. These guys are living big in school. Why the hell am I here? I'm
No.
also trying to join the sports.
See again.
You better
Here,
be damn
here is
good.
You might as well be
You better be
good.
no.
good
See,
as
here's
hell.
here's the other thing.
Before
See,
you
here's
make
the,
that
here's the
decision.
caveat. It's kind of like what we talked about. So we talked before about how many different affiliate programs and different things that I personally have, right? So I can go out and sell those things and get an income from it. Well, a student athlete can't do that. So that's where the differences comes in.
But what I'm saying is,
So-
these
so it's
students
possible. I mean,
start
they could
making
certainly-
extra money.
They could certainly be reps for Under Armour and say and put their name on shoes if it was possible, and then just get a shit ton of cash when we all go out and get those fresh Under Armours. But they can't do that
But when it's-
until they're done, until they've exhausted all eligibility and signed with an agent.
But imagine if the students are making the money of the images and whatnot. They're making millions.
The schools are.
The
This is what
schools.
you're saying?
I'm saying the students themselves. Let's say they change the rules.
Oh yeah,
students are
yeah.
making money off
Okay.
the
Yep.
images and
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Now you in the school, you're driving like a Ferrari.
Well, some do that
Some-
anyway.
listen. Well, yeah, some do that.
Yeah.
What are the other students gonna think? Like, wait.
Well, you
Hold
just gotta
on.
be talented enough to.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
See,
I think
again,
you're deserving.
it's only the student athletes, because anyone in the science program can certainly go out and split some atoms and
Right.
fucking ions and eons and shit. If that's a thing,
Right, yeah.
they can discover black holes
Yeah.
and write books.
Okay, what if they took the scholarship away and every student had to get into college, walk in, and get into
That would be
sports?
great.
Anything. You say what?
They took the scholarship away, right? So you apply for a school, you get to school, then you join the sports team. Then you can get money off your image rights. And
Well, that's Division 2 and 3 is what we've been
so
talking about.
that's what's happening in Division 2.
Well, there's
But
no
they
there's
can't-
no
they still
athletic
can't make any money
scholarships.
off their name, but yes, they don't get a scholarship. They just play to play.
Just play to play.
Yes.
Those people deserve to get money off their image rights because they don't have
There's
no
a couple of
scholarships.
schools that are cutting that out. Like in the Ivy Leagues, there's several that stopped
Stop.
athletic scholarships. So if you want to play sports for them, you're just playing sports for them. If you're going to get a scholarship, it's through merit.
There you go.
And just people playing for the love of the game.
Play for the love of the game.
But somebody's still selling tickets, right?
Right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nobody will.
They should just make college free and just be done with it.
Let's make
Yeah,
college free,
I
be
agree.
done with it.
Or just
How-
get rid
how
of
is college going to
colleges.
survive in the middle of college?
How does anything else survive when it's free?
There's
The
a-
difference is
there's
baby.
a big-
Taxes,
Tax-
baby.
What about
people,
private
baby.
colleges? Then?
Well, Well, private
Oh,
can stay private.
Private,
If,
right,
if
that's
you want
their
to,
own
if you
thing.
want to
You
go
want
and pay
special-
for it, then you
And
go
I
pay
don't-
for it.
I don't think it's such a hard thing to do and a terrible thing to do either because they want to make 4 years free, right? 4 years, 4 years. Maybe if you cut all those extracurriculars out and just stuck somebody to their degree and said, hey, if you want to get this degree, you take these classes and you can move on with that. It's yours, free. If you want to learn all these other things in here, you can pay to play that class.
You think they
So
don't know?
if I'm an older person and I say I want to do continuing education and I want to come back and I want to learn about philosophy in this class, I think it's interesting. I want to expand. I'm going to pay for that. Right? You're not just going to send me in there for free. But I have an interest in it. I save my money. I'm going to pay for that. But people that are going in for degrees that actually benefit our economy, why isn't the economy putting back into these people getting in and out?
God damn, Jazzy Pickle. Boom!
Jazzy Pickle for president.
He done solved it
Pickle
all.
for president.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's true.
How does
That's the crap
college?
classes.
Yeah.
How does college
Everybody
work?
be out in 2 years.
Where you from?
Most people wouldn't even
is it
go.
free?
Graduated
You pay?
in 6.
Most
Well,
people
there's
wouldn't go to
scholarships.
college
Well,
if there
scholarship, you have
if
to.
there were
It's based on
you
merit.
cut
Only
It's
merit?
areas of
based
study
on merit.
that you really couldn't get. There's no actual career path built off of that degree. If you cut that and made that an extra, where you had to pay for that, just like you said, okay, we got our set ones that are. This is what you want to do. If you want to learn about all this extra cool stuff, doesn't really get you much. You got to pay for it. No one would do it.
But you do have
No
to
one would
realize
pay for
everything
that
they
extra.
teach-
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Everything they teach in college sort of benefits the economy, one way or the other. Like somebody learning history. Historians, we do need historians.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's fine. And there's a history major.
Yeah,
You can go
a-
to school
a
for
track.
history with these classes.
Yeah.
And you take them, you go through. But maybe you're a history major and you're like, man, I just always had an affinity for calculus. That's fine. That's not in your degree. You can pay to play that class.
It's making sense. It does. It does make sense. I'm a fan.
I mean, you'll get rid of your career college students.
Those that just stay in forever. Just
That literally
taking
stay in
random
for
shit.
like
Yeah.
16 years.
Yeah.
As they start seeing the debt roll up, and they're like, well, but until there's a solution, I'm just
Right.
Yeah, once they see it, they're like, I don't have to pay any of my loans until I'm out of school, so I'm just going to stay in school.
Stay in school.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It just got real quiet because there was something that just rolled past
The studio.
the studio. The Second Take Disputed Palatial Estate Studios. But yeah, this was really good.
Yeah, before we wrap that up, let's
Yeah.
go back right to that beginning, though, and talk about the transfer.
Yeah.
I think that's where they do screw up a lot. When you're saying, and how we got tied into the scholarship of these kids have scholarships, like they shouldn't want for more. That's fine. If they have a scholarship and they want to transfer, it's up to the other school whether they want to give them one or not.
Right.
Let them move along.
Right.
And let them deal that out themselves.
Right.
There's probably so many talented people sitting on a bench somewhere that'll never move
Well, I
beyond
think-
what they did just because we never got to see them play and they weren't able to go to an opening that was available for somebody in their position where they could excel.
If you just look at the Final Four in college, 3 of those quarterbacks transferred from another school.
That's true.
You know, and
So that tells you that your coaches, your former coaches, are shit.
no.
No.
It's the exact
They
opposite.
had somebody
It's
playing
the
in front of
exact
them.
opposite. Yeah. Yeah.
Put
They
it to
had
you,
that
put
much
it,
talent on the bench.
and put it to you this way.
Yes.
Here, this is a factual statement right here.
Uh-oh.
It's a fact.
We're not used to facts coming from Shrek, so shit. Hold
Facts.
tight, everyone.
Facts. If you're in a college
Mm-hmm.
and someone gets scholarships from high school, I'll go ahead and use the example kicker. A kicker for a football team. He gets scholarship because he went to some super fancy, rich high school. All those scouts went there like, okay, that guy can kick some field goals. He gets a scholarship. Someone walks on, Tucker walks on, no scholarship. It doesn't matter how good Tucker is. The kid with the scholarship, unless there is a tangible reason for him to get benched, the walk-on is not allowed to take his position.
Is that how it
Well,
works?
we wouldn't say not allowed. It's just
Wait.
very difficult.
So you're
for it to
telling me
happen.
to put the people the scholarship first?
Yes.
That's how it works.
Well, I mean, it's
everywhere.
money. Yeah, what are you talking about?
You watch professional sports and you think,
So will coaches
damn,
just sit back and like, all right,
damn, the Stars playing like crap today. Yeah, but we're paying him a shit ton of money to play like crap, so he better get back in there and play.
They have to lose their position. The other person can't beat them out of that position.
and the coaches just have to sit back and take that crap. It's like,
Well, I think one of the major issues is, again, when we talked about the scholarships, you can also, if there was a limit to the number of scholarships that you had, then you probably wouldn't have to have that issue. So let's just take Joe Burrow for instance. He was third string behind the dude is the Redskins quarterback now, and shit, I'm losing everybody's name, but it was two guys ahead of him that were also pretty damn good, also playing in the NFL right now, right? So he did get recruited and actually went to Ohio State, and he just happened to be he was third string or fourth string or some shit. Then he played 3 career games with them over the course of those 3 years, and then he transferred, obviously, and went on to LSU and is now doing what he did on Monday. Now, if there was a limit, I'm sure all of those quarterbacks were on scholarship at Ohio State. Now, if there was a limit to the number of scholarships that they had to hand out, then perhaps they wouldn't have asked him to come in, and then he would have been able to start his career somewhere else.
Or would have asked him and he would have been able to pursue, well, you're not going to offer me a scholarship.
Yeah.
But you're accepting me.
Yeah.
So that's on my list. But what does everybody else have?
Let me check it out. Oh, that's right. The other quarterback transferred to Florida or something.
I mean, look,
The other Ohio State quarterback.
here's-
So they had two quarterbacks who are now in the NFL. One who transferred out of the program, and then they got the quarterback from Georgia to transfer into the. It's a shit show. And I love it.
Another example, though, when it comes to scholarships and people having to lose positions. Let's take a perfect example. The greatest quarterback of all time. Who is it?
Guy.
Who is it? Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Oh my God, I just threw up.
Tom
We're
Brady.
talking about NFL quarterback.
NFL quarterback.
Okay.
of all time?
Of all time. When he was in Michigan,
Right.
he rode the pine.
He did ride the pine, and I think his senior season he split time with. Some dude.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name.
Yeah,
Didn't he go in the draft also?
probably.
Yeah.
Don't all Michigan quarterbacks go in the draft? Just
Well, back then they
because?
did. Back then they did.
Yeah.
But perfect,
No shade to Michigan, by the way.
perfect,
Go blue.
Go
I'm
blue.
sorry.
But there you go, perfect example. The guy rode the pine. Joe Flacco had to transfer to Delaware in order to get recognition.
It happens, but again, there's nothing wrong with
Then
that.
he had to transfer to Denver to get recognition again.
Yeah, and now he's
My
done.
man's hurting.
They do that in high school too, though.
Nowadays, yes, it is nuts. That'll probably be a whole 2 more podcasts. The things that are going on in high school sports with
You get those
kids
people
going
moving around, then you actually start to see what coaches
Coaches
can do.
You guys can do what they do in the
It's
Premier
like
League.
playing chess.
In soccer, have an under 18 team, under 23 team, and develop players from there. Then you have nothing to do with schools. You let those people play their own league, they move to the senior team, and you're done. No more draft, no more bullshit. That's it.
Well, shit.
You have
End of story. It works for soccer. It should
And
work for
there it
every other
is.
Who pays those kids?
The teams. They don't even pay them that much.
Right.
No, unless
Top teams, right? Like so the NFL,
organization.
Most of the teams,
organizations
most of the
would pay
teams,
down.
most of the teams have their own like under 18.
It's
A pipeline.
called a farming
Right.
Once you
system.
move to the senior team, then you get a
Hockey
full
has
contract.
it. Baseball has it.
They do.
Yes.
majors and the minors.
Then you don't have to do all this draft
The
crap.
NBA has
They have to. The NBA does. They have like a team B.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this
yeah.
team is weird.
They have the different leagues. I don't know.
Then you save yourself for this whole draft and
Some of them.
I think
Kids-
some of them do.
you know waiting for scholarships.
But it would never happen with
but
football.
college football is the developmental league essentially for the NFL.
And that's what you'd have to get everybody, and I'm talking players, in the NFL to agree to say, yeah, you cut some of our money and pay.
Well,
They don't need to cut their money.
you would also have
They
to.
don't have to cut their money. The NFL
They don't have to.
You would also
They
have to
don't
cut.
have
You
to.
would have to cut. That right there puts the NFL against NCAA because you would ask kids not to play in college football then.
So what? So
You're a
what?
king. So what?
So what? What's the NCAA going to do to the NFL? Nothing.
Exactly.
It's my game. You have your game. I have my rules. You don't tell me what to do in my rules.
Damn,
I want to
King.
develop younger players, like kids after school programs. Then they
King
develop.
coming
Then they come into the
by.
senior team. I don't need you to go to college first.
I think we've just fixed everything. King has fixed that.
Okay.
Jesse
no,
Pickle has
no,
fixed
no,
that.
So,
I mean,
this
Jared,
ticket right here.
So-
He was my
Have-
comment as
have-
athletic director.
Having some education background is a good thing. I understand that for sports students and everything, right? But now this whole drafting thing and people need to transfer just to play sports
Well,
and whatnot
so
is so complicated.
What you're gonna have to do then is you're gonna have to have a draft at a high school.
It's not. It's
Well-
not complicated.
No, it's not. The bigger thing would be finding enough people to play in that when you're offered an education behind your sports. So a lot of those kids go into college playing a sport, knowing they'll never play it again,
It's like
but are trying to get a degree to go get a job afterwards.
It's like Ravens had like a after school program for kids at different ages, right? And they see them develop, come train, blah blah blah. High school, they have a whole high school team, blah blah blah. Then they move on.
NFL doesn't want a bunch of nerds. Come on, they're not going to go there for an education. Screw that.
It could work. But
Oh,
then again,
boy.
that's gonna hit somebody's pockets. So
Always. It's always about the pockets.
It's
Always
always
about
about the pocket.
follow
Yeah.
the money.
NCAA will squash the honors.
that was
NCAA
splash
shit.
They will go. That would be crazy.
NCAA.
They would sue the NFL.
No, NCAA is like a mafia, man. You don't even know where their hitmen are.
Oh, then we better stop talking about it. On that note, we're going to
But
say
it's not coming for our
goodnight.
kids, right?
Oh, Lord.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Putting that thought in my head.
Like this is the final good night.
Yeah. We may or may not be back for episode 30. Who knows? But say goodnight, Shrek.
Episode 30 already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We rocking and rolling, baby.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, good night.
Tell them goodnight, Jesse Pickle.
See you.
Nate, your boy.
Howdy.
And King Nana.
We out.
Good night, everyone.